other day I read a detective book, Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I found that the author was very good at gripping my attention to the end to find out who the actual murderer was. And to do YouTube and to become a YouTuber, you need similar skills to be able to keep the audience engaged to the end of your video. So today let's talk about how to make a killer YouTube intro. So firstly, title and thumbnail. So firstly, you have to think like the audience, and the audience doesn't know how great your video is or what your video the quality of your video. They only see the thumbnail, and that's what causes them to decide to click on it. So, and if the audience doesn't click on the video, then they won't watch or see what your video is actually like. So you should take time on the title and thumbnail first instead of leaving it till the last second when you're just uploading it, because it's the packaging for the video. So it's really important that it's engaging enough to catch the viewer's attention. And the video intros, for example, Mr. Beast, his intros are usually using a lot of vibrant, bright colors, because you need to be able to target your viewers and know which types of audience you have. So Mr. Beast usually uses exaggerated expressions and really big bold letters and emphasizing how much money it costs, because he usually targets children and younger audiences. However, Ali usually makes videos on how to be more efficient and how to get good habits and things like that. So he's usually targeting older and more mature viewers who are already adults. So he'll use more neutral colors and won't be as loud as the thumbnail on Mr. Beast's video, because they know who their audience is and what they have to do to attract those types of people who will actually be interested in what they have to say. So you should also be able to explain things from and see from your audience's perspective, because if you're saying something and it makes sense to you, it might not make sense to your audience. So you have to think from them and know what you like versus what audience is like, because if you like something, the audience might not like it, and if the audience likes something, you might dislike it. But you have to think from their perspective, because they're the ones that are going to choose whether or not to continue watching a video. And the video intro's purpose is to meet and exceed the expectations set by the title and thumbnail, so they should have something to do with what you're saying, obviously. Secondly is the first 5 seconds. The first 5 seconds are the most important part of the whole video, because it sees the biggest drop-off rate, where 45% of viewers leave. If you improve retention for the first 5 seconds, then it's improving it for the whole video, because it's proved that if the viewer sticks around for the first 5 seconds, they're most likely to stick around for the whole video. So there's a 2-step formula for this. So firstly, the first sentence should match the title, and the first shot should also match the thumbnail, because it doesn't have to be exactly the same, but it has to be close enough to assure the viewers that it wasn't clickbait, and make sure that what they clicked on is what they're expecting to receive. This is because viewers have expectations for what the video is going to be about, and if you betray those expectations, they'll lose trust in you and won't continue watching. For example, if you're going shopping in a supermarket and you see on the tags it says it's a Japanese apple or something, but then if you open the package, if you see it closer and it's actually not, if it's a Mexican apple instead, then that will shatter your expectations and make you lose trust and think that, oh, maybe everything else over here is also packaged wrongly, and you might go to another store to buy what you want. And it also makes you frustrated that what it says is what it actually is. Thirdly is the rest of the intro. So there's also a formula for this. So there's 3 parts. Firstly is the curiosity gap. So you you have to like grip the viewer's attention to make them keep watching and not like click off, to keep them engaged in your video, because our brains crave closure. So you should like raise questions to make the viewer ask questions, and you can like blur something that you can say will be revealed at the end of the video, or promise a formula that you'll give them at the end of your video to give the viewers something to keep watching, because like a reason to keep watching. Because if you just give the solution straight away, then the viewer has no reason to continue watching your video and they'll probably leave. An example from this is, like I said before, the detective book, where like every single hint that the author gives, it just raises more question for the reader that's reading the book and makes them more interested in finding out who the final murderer is at the end. Just like how you should keep on making the viewer ask more and more questions to keep them like excited until the very end. Secondly is context, so what, how and why, and to provide background information. So for example, I was on YouTube and I saw this video by Mark Rober, which was like, the title was Egg Drop from Space, and basically he started off the video by like he gave like background information about like the physics there, like required to like make sure the egg doesn't crack, to bring the viewers onto the same level as himself, so they can actually understand everything else he says and the precautions he continues to take in the video to make sure it doesn't crack, and also explaining what the egg drop actually is and how it's like usually done in primary schools as a challenge. Thirdly is input bias. So basically, good hooks will meet and intros, like good videos will meet the expectations set by the title and thumbnail, but the best ones will exceed those expectations instead of just meeting them. And the more effort we put into like our videos, or like the time, energy and cost, the more it's like we value it. So I know like once my dad told me that like he doesn't like buying, he tells me not to buy like expensive like watches and stuff, because then we'll be like really worried about whether it scratches and making sure it's not lost, and to prefer like cheaper ones, because then it's just like easier and you don't have to think about it all the time. So also should show your effort and show that you're willing to do like something that few others would be willing to do. So for example, like right now Mr. Beast, he does like videos of like trapped in like an island or something, and he spends lots of money on his videos that most people aren't able to spend, because like it's a lot of money. But even when he wasn't so famous and like wasn't that rich, he also continued to use this method, because one of his earliest videos, it was like counting to 100,000, which is something like very few people are willing to do because of the amount of time it takes to do it, and because it's like extremely boring. And every single time he messed up, he would like start again from the beginning, and this got him like a lot of views because it was very different and creative and unique, and like something not many people would do or even think about doing. And it shows that you don't have to be like necessarily like excellent to start something. You just have to have a different idea that's like makes you stand out from the rest of the crowd. And yeah, get this across early, like how much effort you put into the video. Finally is the final construction. So don't just tell your viewer what's happening, but show it happening too. So for example, like if you're talking about a mind-blowing fact, you might put a visual that's like an explosion or something. And if you're talking about like a specific animal, like a specific type of fish, then just like put a picture of that fish on. And it should be captivating enough even with no sound, because now YouTube has like an autoplay feature where you can preview videos before clicking on it without sound. So it's very important that you can grab the viewer's attention even if they're not listening, because there's also lots of other situations where they can't always have the volume up. So you should go through the script and write down visuals that you can use. Furthermore, pacing is crucial, so you should like front load the stimulus and change visuals quite frequently, so normally every 1.5 seconds, to keep the viewer engaged and make sure that they're not distracted by other stuff. And basically just watch the intro over and over again. Watch it in different environments, in like a noisy place with lots of distractions, or in complete silence where it's just the video playing. And if you get distracted like halfway through the video or something, you can expect other people to get distracted as well. So you should like either improve on those parts, or you should just crop them out completely to make sure you have like the maximum engagement. So in conclusion, now that we've like gone through these points and these interesting like ways to make a good YouTube intro, such as the fact that the title and the thumbnail are one of the most important parts and should come as one of the priorities of the videos, because it's like the video's packaging, and if you don't have an intriguing title and thumbnail that would make viewers want to click it, then however good your video is, no one's going to see it anyways. And also to make sure that there's a curiosity cap and keep the viewer questioning everything until the very end. So an interesting thing that I was like thinking is that if all of the YouTubers suddenly lost their jobs for some strange reason, then they'd probably find it like easy to be like a successful author writing detective books, because they know how to capture the viewers like attention until the very end and keep them engaged. That's all for today. Bye bye.